EOS just dumped 40% in just a matter of days. Going forward, a lot of people are scared and are probably shorting. But in this video, I want to explain why this is actually a good area to be entering along and where I think EOS is headed going forward. Now, I just want to excuse my voice. I am sick, so it might be sounding a little bit more raspy than usual. Now, looking at this chart here, yes, this stump looks very scary. And I do know that EOS has definitely been affected during this drawback in the crypto market much more than the other large altcoins. But I just want to zoom out a little to show some perspective here. EOS just moved up about, about 300% in, let's see here, 30 days, 1 month. So it's perfectly normal and to be expected to have some sort of a drawback, a big one that is, after going up for so much for so long, right? But the fact of the matter is that we bounced perfectly off of this support zone here. Here it was resistance. Here we broke above and then retested successfully. If we zoom out a bit, you can actually see that, this is a historically important support and resistance zone. At one point we popped above and we're using it as support back in March. Here we were using it as, bumping up against it as resistance in December of 2023. And just going back, you see a lot of price action here with support all throughout 2022 and then finally resistance in May of 2023. So this is a super important zone, and you can see how despite being in free fall, the second we touched the upper bound, we immediately bounce right back off. Now, this other major resistance zone, which has been recently created by this previous swing high, creates kind of a boundary that we're trading, like a channel that we're trading between. And since we're closer to the bottom part, this would actually be where someone might, want to enter some sort of a long with a stop loss set below this support. So if we see price trickle back down, to the 90s again, this might be a good region to be entering along with, some sort of a stop loss underneath the support. Now, once we start retesting this previous swing high, we're near resistance, and that's where you would want to take profit. There's always a possibility that we come up here for a double top. So we might want to make money off of this upward swing without getting too greedy and excited that it's just going to keep going on forever. As a trader, we don't want to let our emotions get in the way. We're on the 4-hour time frame right now. I did want to also show you guys the momentum indicators are showing that it is oversold. It's showing the RSI currently at 27, as well as the waves indicators making a huge, what we call an anchor wave, with a green dot flashing, and it's starting to curl up. So yes, it is possible that we see a few more clumps of this anchor wave if we continue to see price break down before we see a pullback. That is possible, but typically this is a good sign. A lot of times you'll see some sort of consolidation and you'll see a smaller, what we call trigger wave, right? That's if you're trading purely based on momentum. I like to look at the price action and trade when I'm near support for longs and resistance for shorts because I think that's more reliable. I just like it to be in line with the momentum because that makes it more likely that your trade based on support and resistance will go your way. So right now we're near support and momentum is looking like it's ready to reverse to the upside, and the RSI is fully reset. So on the 4-hour time frame, this actually looks like a very easy trade to the upside, right? A very easy long. Now I also wanted to take a look at the weekly here, because the weekly is saying a completely different story. If I zoom in here, you can actually see that the momentum wave is looking ready to start curling down in just a couple weeks. The RSI got reset back down to 62. In the world of crypto, that's actually not too bad. As long as you're not overextended above these upper bounds, it's pretty bullish to be underneath the 70, excuse me, an RSI underneath 70. But I will say this is a very bearish looking wave up here. The actual price action looks good to me. I like how, like I said, we're, basically broke through and we never had a retest of the support. This to me just looks like a retest before we continue back up. Now, if this retest is successful and this candle prints, that's bullish. If the candle prints below, that's very bearish. So I would really pay attention to that. Of course, make sure to pay attention to, what Bitcoin's doing, because at the end of the day, if Bitcoin dumps, all the cryptos are going to dump. But Bitcoin's looking pretty stable, up in the high 90s right now. So I wouldn't think of that as too much of a factor. And just based off of what I'm seeing on EOS, I think this could be a trade. I think the fact that we saw such a big pullback on EOS relative to the other cryptos means that EOS is also one of the biggest opportunities out of all the cryptos, among some of the others, including Cardano, which I might make another follow-up video on a few days from now. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and let me know in the comments if there's any other specific cryptocurrencies you want me to make a video on.